do they understand? Or do they care? Or are they going to be like many others who want to beat around and gotta escape around the um, basic result of their action? They want to try to avoid it maybe, or if they are forced to confront it, they're completely innocent. they are not they are not guilty. You cannot say um, you can necessarily get an admission, really, or like the admission that you're looking for out of there, what you want from them. So, is it really Peter dictates to his computer? He prefers it to type and particularly prefers it to pen and paper? Or does Peter dictate to his computer and he prefers it to typing? In particularly prefers. What am I talking about? I'm talking about mic check, check mic check, check microphone, mic's on, microphone. Okay, so here we go back to the stories. Do Roseburg understand the harm? Hold on, okay, searching for harm, not harm, searching for harm. They negligently, this is my own wording. They negligently box of chocolates and does cause an autistic UCC Student Senator do those we understand that harm they negligently cause a I tried to put in is autistic. So this I had to put A because it was already big enough. A autistic UCC Student Senator. So instead of having them come out and praise this guy for his accomplishments, he's being patronized and pushed around as like he's the villain. This guy is a villain, y'all, because he beat in front of everybody else and made a little bit of a scene that actually wasn't a scene at all and didn't do anything and cause any harm and destroy anything and do anything bad to Roseburg at all. But Roseburg had no other choice but to go after this guy because he decided to beat this guy up in broad daylight and had a friend with him. So Roseburg made a case against this autistic guy who had been bullied and pursued because of Roseburg. Roseburg was the cause, the root of this villainous harm, negligently caused harm by an attacker who pursued this guy and consistently stalked and pursued and came after Mr. Lanham and Roseburg, victimized the autistic kid, who was a UCC student body senator. So instead of giving this guy praise and helping him move along and stay on the up and up, you made sure that he was going to go and hang out with all the dirtiest, all of the people that you got all in your, wicked part of your society. You're going to make sure that Mr. Lenham was thoroughly, um, with who he belonged with, because that definitely had to be this autistic man's kind, who he belonged to. It's the wicked people of the world, right? And that what they've said ever since Mr. Lanham was a small kid and they forced him to go to school. And they force people to do certain things and then they say, oh, well, by the way, we're going to put you in this special learning class for people who get mocked and they get belittled. And lo and behold, society is going to stick to its roots, belittling and mocking and making a fool of mockery out of these people because they're going to say their excuses is that they don't know what to do with these people. You don't know what to do with these people? I'll tell you what to do with them. Once you protect them, if they got certain rights and they was given certain rights so they would be protected more, they wouldn't be bullied. Where's the police authorities on that pursuing those particular avenues to safeguard individuals like this? So, I mean, now you're a student senator, so you is that why you fired him? Because you can't have people who, you know, help your school paint for you or do whatever the hell your school asks for him to do. He'll do it. He's there, you know. He's one of your senators, so he has no other choice but to volunteer. You guys elected him to be there, so and he was. So and this is the guy who you have thrown him through the ringers, and the guy who was causing autistic man harm was a real bad person. Was somebody who really was not on the up and up, was not going to UCC. Some dirty people just because they go to dirty UCC doesn't mean they're not dirty, right? So, or that you don't have to watch them. You shouldn't have to watch them, but this person who they put this autistic man in the story, back in the 2000s, early 2000s, the guy was not okay, perfect, anything like that, but he was leaning more towards not doing bad things his whole life, you know, or not ever doing anything bad ever again. For as far as autistic person is concerned, he'd rather concern himself with more positive things actually, and not negative things at all. So I don't really care. It burns my ass. Yes, it does. It's momentarily. It's not something like permanent. I want a permanent fix on these people. So I, just am talking just because I can, and because this is the real side of the story. This is the rest of the story, and this is what Roseburg was hoping that they were going to be able to keep hidden from their deep, dark past and keep it locked in there. We hope that this person would never be able to rise to the occasion of making a YouTube debut with this in mind. What happened here, which sheer negligence in the case, in the circumstance that they caused. So they caused this person to be pursued by somebody because they were persistent in adding them, and just by making the police made this autistic person commit this in this bad guy's case so that they could put this man in this creepy man's case. Lo and behold, now let me tell you, I have to add before I forget and don't actually mention this other sad part is this terrible. Okay, the autistic guy was about $1.50 to trade. And he was facing his opponent that they convicted him later on for beating up was about 200 and something. He wasn't fat or anything like that, but he was a whole head taller than this autistic person. Just being victimized and stalked and harassed and bullied and beat up. And actually, the autistic person thought he was gonna die one time when the guy had him in the headlock. And the autistic person begged everyone around if he they stopped this guy from letting him go. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. They can let me go. So I, to understand the sheer fright and terror, and the scare, the scare. I was just so scared. I'm not trying to make funny or joke or anything like that of this. I was truly frightened for my life. I thought I was going to die. Okay, maybe I thought I was going to die. And I was just like thinking, right before I died, this is what I thought, what my last thoughts would have been when I died was, you fucks just sat there and let me die. And I wasn't scared. I wasn't frightened. But I was terrified, actually. Just the sheer fact that I thought I was dead. I thought I was going to die. So when they did that to me, I kind of steps of him took years of this abuse and torture, this harm. They put this autistic family as a student body senator was only able to do that for 1 year. Because after that, he eventually fell out of college. Was able to get his high school diploma, adult high school diploma. She came for and fought for years before all of this shit happened anyways. And I said Shane Cunningham before because he knew this guy, this chump, and all those guys' family or whatever had known this guy somehow, had some relation to do with him. So they're guilty of this guy being around and coming about and having and operating like this and being dirty like that. When all of us were not so much violent criminals. So they made this autistic person out to be a violent offender criminal when when he fought out of fear because he was scared. He thought that this person was eventually, he was going to either keep bullying me, or I could pay somebody to take care of him, but it would still be on me to not be able to physically take him myself. So I got myself into shape where I could really a lot more exercise, stretches and things, and I ran, stuff at the time. And a lot better than I do now. Maybe it's the humidity. Maybe I'm at now in the heat, I don't know. It's terrible. Trying to run these days, I got running shoes for Christmas just so I could try to jog. Jog, whatever it is. Oh, excuse me, so you're healthy. And I tried, and I ended up only running just a little bit more than I walked. When I was walking, because I was pooping, not like just freaking drained me all at once, super fast. So I don't know what the hell. Anyways, sheer terror that they caused UCC student, and then later on, after they caused the sheer terror and harm to this person, and let him be victimized like that, this guy, autistic guy, stood up to this bully, and then when we turned it around on him, we made him a villain, out to be a villain. And you can check it out. The pattern goes, this guy beat this guy's ass because he was being called a narc. And had other people around in on it, around this area. And basically then what they ended up doing is giving this guy a felony charge and making him out to be the guy who's a whole head taller than him and 50 pounds, about 50 pounds heavier than this autistic guy was too. And made this autistic man, as soon as he got the better of the other dude, the other guy, they let him use it against him because he called the police. He was going around calling this guy a narc, and then calls the police when he gets his ass beat and thinks that's fair. And the guy who he's calling a narc didn't even narc him off. The police put him in the paperwork, and after they showed this autistic guy, him, and set the autistic person guy up in this creep's paperwork, showing him having 4 kids take a TV into a pawn store and sell it, and have his wife actually put TV in her name, and the police concocted um, basically um, they have a deep dark past in it, and that's what they did to this guy. And thank God this guy was far, far away from them. And I hope that they're unable to keep doing this to unfortunate people who are like that, who might not ever be able to tell their side of the story, or actually what really happened, or what the real true side of the story is, and how they were just complete bamboozled and victimized all the way around, victimized by the system, victimized by a true, um, you know, evil perpetrator, villain, if you would, in a classic movie scenario.